Hi everyone, these are some instructions for how to operate our moon finders, and just a couple of reminders. In our moon finder, we're going to say that the sun, we're on a 12-hour day, the sun is always rising at 6 a.m. and setting right at 6 p.m. Now it doesn't work like that very often, but for purpose of ours, just so we can keep track of our times easily, that's what we're going to assume. Now, we'll also notice that it follows the ecliptic of the sun. The sun rises in the east, gets to its highest point in the south, and sets in the west. And again, 6 a.m. sun up, 6 p.m. sun down. And the key on this for times is your sun is your clock. So if I say it's daybreak or 6 a.m. in the morning, whenever you hear a time, you have to think that's where the sun is at. So if I said it is 6 a.m. in the morning, you would need to move your sun to where it's right at 6 a.m. in the morning. That would actually be sun up. We probably wouldn't be able to see the sun right at that moment because there's mountains and trees in the way, but we would certainly see it getting lighter. As we go through the day, the sun is moving across the sky in its ecliptic, and its next stop is 9 p.m., 3 hours later. And notice that each of these is a 3-hour increment. At noon, we've got the sun straight at 12 p.m., and then as we keep going through our ecliptic, at 3 a.m. it's starting to go down. It's now in the southwest sky, and at 6 p.m. it sets. Now, we could even keep track of this when the sun's not up, because if we moved one more of these groups of lines, the sun's going to be down here where we can't see it, but it's one of these 3-hour increments, so this would be 9 o'clock. Now, a couple of things that we've discovered in the course of our studies is that in the morning, if it's early, we tend to be able to see waning moons. And here's why. Here would be early in the morning, and you can see the only possible moons I'm going to be able to see are these waning moons, because the waxing moons are all down here. They're below our horizon, so we wouldn't be able to see them. If we went to a little bit before sunup, let's say I looked at 5 o'clock in the morning, I'd be able to see a waning crescent, a third quarter, and a waning gibbous. Might even be able to see a little bit of a full moon, but I'm not going to see any waxing moons. We found out that we generally see waning moons in the morning. Now, if I move the sun toward its evening times, now the sun's over here at 3 o'clock, in the late afternoon, those waning moons have now all gone down. I'm not going to see those in the afternoon, but if it's in a waxing phase, I can see all of the waxing moons during the late part of the day. So again, we found that waxing moons we saw late in the day, waning moons we saw in the morning, and that's why. Now, taking through a couple of questions that I might ask. A classic question might say, it is 9 a.m. and you see a moon directly south. What moon do you see? Well, the first thing I got to do is get my sun, which is my timekeeper, to 9 a.m. And then simply I just got to look directly south. There's only one of the moons on here that's going to be directly south, and that is a waning crescent. So if I say the sun's at 9 a.m. and I see a moon to the south, it's a waning crescent. If I say it's 9 a.m. and I see a moon in the southwest, then the answer is going to be a third quarter moon. Conversely, let's say I said it is 6 p.m. and I see a moon in the southeastern sky. Well, here's the southeastern sky here. There's only one moon I'm going to see at 6 p.m. in the southeastern sky. That is a waxing gibbous moon. Now, I could even do some times where I might not see the sun. I might say that there is a first quarter moon in the southwestern sky. So I'm going to put the first quarter moon in the southwestern sky, and then I might ask, what time is it? Well, the problem is I can't see a sun here. It's not up, but we can still figure out the time, because remember, right here was 6 o'clock. This is 3 hours between these two lines. So I got to move one of these sets of lines in order to get my first quarter moon in the southwestern sky, which means my sun moved right there, and that would be 9 o'clock. So if I said you look in the southwestern sky and see a first quarter moon, what time is it? The answer on this is 9 o'clock. Another similar one would be if I said you see a waxing crescent moon directly south. What time is it? Well, now I'm going to move what I know. There's my waning crescent moon. That's the one I meant. There's my waning crescent moon. It's directly south. to find the time, I have to find the sun. There's the sun. It is 9 o'clock in the morning. And again, morning hours is when all of the waning moons tend to be out. Evening hours are when those waxing moons tend to be out. Hope you found this helpful.